Hello and welcome to ERL Season 6 here for Round 2, the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circular de Barcelona, Catalunya. The cars will be going out on track shortly to do the qualifying session here tonight. Last race winner, Jacques, is here once again, but I don't believe that the second place finisher, Jagos, is here, so championship could get shaken up towards the front end somewhat. But after the first race, it's Mercedes who lead the constructors with 40 points, followed by Toro Rosso on 24, Sauber on 22, Red Bull 12. Williams, the last team scoring points in fifth at the moment on 2 points. Haas, Ferrari, McLaren, Renault, and Force India yet to score. So yeah, so we've got a few cars coming out now. We've got Max Wheatley, pole sitter from last week, currently on an outlap. I think that's his teammate. He's currently the first one out on track, which is Jack Tyler. 46 didn't attend the last race, so we'll be looking to put in a good performance today to make up for that. So we've got some guys super soft, some softs, some mediums. Would expect to see a few more people on the softs, considering the soft to medium strategy seems to be the quickest here. This race addiction's already retired. Is that the fast right-hander, maybe? I think I saw a car go off there in the background. Oh, I do not know. But we'll go on board with Jack Tyler here on the medium tyre for his first run. Expect him to come to the soft tyres later on in the session. Max ERS mode. Most likely Max fuel mixture. His teammate behind getting a tow down the straight. Nice helmet there from Jack Tyler, matching the McLaren's colour scheme very nicely. It's looking pretty smooth so far. Down to fourth gear, third gear, second gear, and now back up through the gears. Runs a little bit wide there, could possibly be invalid, not too sure. It looks like it was invalid, he's gone into zero ERS mode. So let's check on his teammate who's behind him. As he gets out of the way nicely there. So last week's pole sitter is on the super soft tyres, which is an interesting strategy considering I mentioned earlier about the strategy being most likely soft to mediums for the quickest race time. But maybe these guys want track position. He comes into the final section of the track now. Very complex little section. It used to be this way, of course. Used to be a pretty much flat out corner around to the start line, but Max Wheatley there running very wide. That's going to cost him his lap and his second lap as well as he goes slow down the straight. Not entirely sure who the next guy is to complete our lap. Let's have a look who we got here. It's just teammates. There we go. We've got Dark Ninja coming around, final corner. He sits a 1:19.0 on the medium tyre. Footy coming into the pits. The Force Indians had a pretty disappointing race at the Australian Grand Prix last week, but they seem to have some pretty good pace in qualifying. We're looking for them to put in a good performance this week. We have Joe in the Renault tonight. He was in the Sauber last week, of course. Managed to get a respectable, I think, P4. Yep. So we'll be hoping to score some more points and get a full-time seat in the future. Third place driver from last week, sorry, Ari. He's coming into the final part of the track now. As Thomas goes provisional pole 1:17.7 on the softs, and Ari's heading back into the pits. Joe goes provisional pole 1:17.7 on the super softs. So 3 different tyre compounds. So the only 3 to be set in the lap so far. But there goes the PLFC. If I'm on it 30, it's not respectable lap time. Not respectable lap time. Jacques, last week's winner, and a 1:18.8 on the medium tyre. So if Patagi going onto a lap now, he seemed pretty quick from what we saw in Australia. Everyone's had an unfortunate race, so he'll be hoping to bounce back from that. We've got yellow flags at 2, most likely someone just slowing down and getting out of the way. A little bit of a lock up. It's going to run wide as well. The left-hander, which is followed by a quick right-hander. I mean, not another right-hander. Nice and smooth, but they can lose it on the exit very easily. A little bit wide from the apex of that corner, but it shouldn't cost too much time. That's actually a Sauber in the gravel, though. I'm not entirely sure who that is, but it's not going to help them. Cardi comes into the final few corners of the track again, running wide at some of these corners. It's not going to help his lap time at all. And on the final corner, it's going to be a 1:19.8, which is in 6th on the soft tyres, behind the majority of the medium runners. Drew comes down to turn 1. Got a bit of traffic, but it seems to be getting out of the way nicely for him. He's going on the super soft tyre, so it looks like he's going for track position over strategy over there. Gets a little kick from the back end going through there, but managed to control it relatively well. Shouldn't cost him too much time. A little bit wide through that corner. To the final parts of the track now. He's actually coming back into the pit, so he's going to set a lap just yet. Ooh, looks like steering's been off in the gravel somewhere. Had a bit of gravel on his tyres, but looks as though he's still pushing. That RFC is currently 7th on the medium tyres. Going to find someone on the lap, but it looks like most drivers are coming out or going in laps. Have a look at Riley here. Finished a respectable P7 last week. But we did only have, I think, 9 finishes, so... so I'm hoping we'll see a bit more than that tonight. He's actually not using the DRS, it seems. Maybe he has a problem with his car, or maybe it's just a glitch. Which comes into the final sector. So the chicane, and now flat out to the line. It's not going to be a really quick lap. It's going to be a 1:19.1, which is in P7, which is where he finished last race. Max Wheatley looks like he's either come to the end of a lap now or he's starting a lap, but it's only he's come to the end of that, I think. Maybe. Maybe he's just starting one. Or it's invalid either way. Oh, looks like he's coming into the pits. Disappointing day for the Renaults last time out. Of course, there's the incident of Astronaut, which has actually given him a race ban for today, so hence Joe is in that Renault, but he's doing a good job for the team, currently in P1. Osrick's third place man still yet to set a lap. We'll see if he's on a quick one here now. So he's currently in the middle sector. Looks smooth through there. He's in the apexes nicely through this part of the track. He's actually coming back into the pits. So it looks like he might not be wanting to set a time on the super soft tyres and rather go for a soft run at the end. Is just get a feel for the track at the moment. Drew on a lap. Now comes into the second sector. Kick from the back end once again from the Toro Rosso driver, but he's doing okay at the moment. Into the final chicane now, and then flat out to the line. Nice and smooth through there. Looking to be a 1 minute 18, 1 minute 19. 18.8, which currently puts in P4 on our medium tyres. Who's on the lap? Started starting lap. Definitely LFC is in the middle of the lap. He's got a lot of traffic in front of him, which will hopefully get out of the way nicely. This motorist he does. Some of the car ahead of him is Harmon, but he's got out of the way nicely as well. So it should hopefully not have compromised to the LFC's run too much. Currently on the super soft tyre. That's the final corner now. So 1 minute 18.3, which kind of puts in P3 behind Thomas and Joe. So Guitar Dude's on a lap. So we'll see if he can improve on his 119.8. It's currently behind Riley in the Toro Rosso. Riley's gonna go across the chicane, make sure he doesn't compromise Guitar Dude's lap here. And it's going to be a 117.862, which puts in P3 at the moment. Thomas is looking to have a very nice lap at 17.7 on the soft tyres there. Be interesting to see if he goes out later to make sure he can stay that high up, or if he's just going to be happy with that lap and stay with it. Tristina Red Bull going through to the final sector now. Looks to be driving very smoothly. Ooh, he's back into the pitch, almost actually hitting the wall there. It's got a bit of a slide going on. Yeah, most drivers coming into the pits now, or exiting them to go on to their final quali runs. So it looks like most drivers are going for the soft and medium strategy. A few on the super soft. We might see a few more onto the super softs later into the session. But the soft to medium is definitely the optimal strategy around here. So we return to the pits. Which will mean that nobody is on a hot lap. Only one driver is actually out on track. This is Jacques, last week's winner. Yeah, looking on towards the race, turn 1 is going to be quite interesting as it has quite a tight apex for all the cars to get through cleanly, and then quickly transitions to turn 2, so you can't have too many cars going wide, as in like can't have many cars going 3 wide or even 4 wide, because there's just not enough room to get it turned into 1 then through 2 as well, and you're most likely to see someone going straight on at turn 1 to avoid contact, or ended up in the gravel on the right hand side of turn 2. Turn 3 is the long right hander. It's seen of incidents in the past and in real life, of course. We saw Roman Grosjean have a big moment there last season, causing, I think a 3-car incident. But hopefully everyone will be able to negotiate that fine tonight. Jacques here, he's on the soft tyres, so he's going to be going for the soft to medium strategy in the race. We'll see what he can do. Currently P7 with a medium lap time on 18.8. Still 6 drivers yet to set a lap. Verhanen and Race Addiction are out for the session, so they will not be setting laps, so technically 4 drivers still to set a lap. Toro Rosso get out of the way. Sean coming towards the end of his lap now. He'll finish this run, then he'll probably have a cool down lap and go for a second run. This comes into the final chicane. Flat out to the line. Going to be a respectable time. It's actually going to be provisional pole with a 17.4, so the Finnish driver taking that pole position away from Joe on a compound harder tyre. Joe is back out on the super soft, so he will be going for the super soft to maybe super soft medium, super soft, soft, maybe. Not entirely sure what the strategy is from the super soft tyres, but we will see. We've got a few more drivers retiring from the session now. Don't believe they can improve on their lap time, or just don't have enough time to get back around. Thomas is one of them. He's in the pit, so he's happy with his soft time. He's set for 1:17.7. Deering is not going out again, so he's choosing to start on a fresh set of tyres outside the top 10. Let's see what Ari can do. He's currently on the soft tyre. Seems to be a title contender from what we saw last week in Australia. Can he make it Mercedes 1-2 here in Spain? Of course, they finished 1-3 in the race last week, so they're looking like the favourites of the constructors at the moment. We'll see what they can do in quality here today. It's looking to be a relatively quick lap, and it's going to be pole 1:17.1. So currently it is a Mercedes 1-2. Joe has a chance to change that on these super soft tyres if he can improve. Guitardude also in contention on the super soft tyres at 17.8 currently. Dark Ninja behind him might get compromised, so I think he'll be able to improve enough to get up there. Jack Tyre looks like he's had a moment coming towards the line. He's currently P11. So we'll see what Guitardude can do here. And his final run, he's gone a bit wide, and that's him off the track, and that's his lap over. So he will not be improving from P6, and he will be starting on the super soft tyre. Dark Ninja goes P8 in his soft run. I believe that's everyone apart from Joe now. He's up by a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be enough to improve him up any position. Starting on the super soft tyres is going to hinder him pretty severely in this race. I think he's actually run out of fuel here into the line. So he'll be starting P4. The super soft tyres. Giroud was in P11, so he's got a pretty good starting position for today's race. We get to start on some soft tyres, or fresh soft tyres, or some fresh medium tyres. But we'll see what the strategies look like as we go for the formation lap. But it's a Mercedes 1-2 with Ari, followed by Jacques. And it's a finish all front three with Aston Martin Red Bull of Motoristi in P3. Joe currently P4 reserve driver in the Renault. Thomas P5, Guitardude P6 on the super softs. For P7, Dark Ninja P8. Deadly LFC 9th. And Matt RFC rounds out the top 10 on the soft tyres. Then we have Giroud, Jack Tyler, Riley, Deering, Max Wheatley. Who's actually last week's pole sitter. He's in P15 with no lap time set. Swami and Verhanen, along with Race Addiction, all set in no time at all. Max Wheatley's time would have been invalid then. So Mercedes look pretty dominant here, could be dominant throughout the season. We'll have to wait and see as the drivers now get ready, get their setups. Well, not their setups because they're part firmly, but they'll get their strategies set and done for the race, as well as fuel load. Looks like it's going to be a dry race, much like we had in Australia, so strategy will be a key element. Today, 33 laps of the Spanish Grand Prix, looking at a pit stop maybe around lap 12, 13, 14, 11, around that sort of area for the softs onto the mediums. Super softs will be pitting maybe around lap 5, 6. Mediums, maybe early 20s, late teens. But we shall see what the drivers outside the top 10 will be starting on. Most likely soft or medium tyres. You want to see some of the guys towards the back end of the field, some of the mediums trying to push their way through the field. Hopefully some accidents happen for them to get their way up, but of course. Actually, Astronauti has joined the session. He's supposed to have a race ban. I'm not entirely sure why that is. I'll put the tyres on, so everyone outside the top 10 is starting on the soft tyres except Riley, who's on the super softs, which is an interesting strategy. So just 4 drivers on the super softs, everyone else is on the soft compound tyre. Not sure why Astronauti is racing. Hopefully he'll just retire from the session as soon as it starts. But yeah, it looks like Riley's put himself in a bit of a... Ooh, what is... Looks like there's been a multiple car incident on the formation lap there, actually. It's pretty much the entire midfield's been wiped out there and disqualified from the race. But what I was going to say is that Riley seems to have put himself in the worst position for the start here. Start on the super soft down in P13. We really want to be going for the one stop here. So unless he can show some good pace on this 2 stop, it looks like he's really hindered his chances at some good points today. Definitely, let's see what's actually gone off. But he will also struggle on the super softs on Qatar Dude and Joe, but these two seem to have some good pace, so they still have a chance at some good points here with the 2 stop strategy, as Mercedes there really backs up the field. And actually that's caused 2 drivers to be disqualified. Joe Thomas, so a lot of disqualifications on this formation lap. That's not going to help the drivers warm up their tyres, of course. As the cars now come down to the grid, which is already half completed. There's some disqualifications, but hopefully the start will be clean. Joe could possibly have the best start on those super soft tyres, so we could see him gain some places down into turn 1 or even before turn 1, as well as Qatar Dude, Deadly FC, and maybe Riley as well. But we'll have to wait and see as the Sauber takes its position on the grid. I believe that might be the last car to do so. It is. Give me a good camera, please. So drivers prepare. We're going to get some lights. Oh, what? That's... Hang on a minute. The Sauber looks to be starting a whole almost lap ahead. What's going on here? But anyway, down into turn 1, it's going to be the Red Bull going around that outside of the Mercedes there. Can he hold it up into the inside? Looks like everyone's managed to get around fairly cleanly. You saw a Ferrari going slightly off in the background there. But it's the Mercedes who holds his position on the Red Bull. The Red Bull's going to have another go up into turn 4. Don't believe any places were made. Looks like Thomas is having a bit of an issue in this race at the moment. We've got the Renault of Joe, who's actually dropped back to P6. Gottardi's up to P4, so it's a good start for him on the super soft tyres. He needs to gain positions if he wants the 2 stop to work here. Some squabbling further down in the midfield. The Williams of Matt going wheel to wheel with the Sauber, and he's actually gone off into the grass. It looks like he's not damaged his wings, so still a chance for him to get some points here today. So me running a bit wide. Looks like he could be 3 wide up ahead. Gonna make it go 2 wide in the end. Max Wheatley challenging for points after his horrific qualifying. Looks It's pretty much all single file up to P1 from there. So it's Ari who leads from Jacques, Motoristi, the front three not changing. Guitardi's up to P4, Dark Ninja P5, Joe's down to P6, Footy P7, Deadly LFC P8, Jack Tyler P9, Deering it's P10. Looks like Jack Tyler's preparing to move on to the Sauber of Deadly LFC down to turn 1. Looks like he has a bit of a straight line speed there, and he's just going to run it down simply. It's Astronaut Racing. I'm not entirely sure. He does have a race ban, so the game's now saying that Thomas is leading again, so I believe he's at the back. He started like halfway around the track. His Astronaut is retired, so must have been a mistake him during the session. So, but Jack Tyler did get ahead of Deadly NFC. Max Wheatley, ooh, probably on a bit of a moment now. I'm not sure if that was a bit of lag or what. He looks to be lagging a fair bit, which isn't going to help Max Wheatley get past him. Got a bit of a train form in here behind the Ferrari of Dark Ninja, who maybe is struggling on his soft tyres. Maybe struggling to get them warmed up, or if he maybe just took too much out of them during qualifying. Now he's struggling for tyre wear. But he's going to be hindering the race of Qatar Dude and Joe behind him, who are on the super softs that need to be pulling away from the rest of the field to make their strategy work. Looks like the McLaren or Max Wheatley could be going for a move. Actually, Deeren Hedden is going for a move on Deadly LFC. Oh, he goes a little bit deep into the corner, pushes Deadly LFC off the track, and they're actually going to collide, and Max Wheatley collects them as well. I think Giroux hit the Ferrari there. Don't know really who can put the blame on there. Maybe Deering for forcing Deadly LFC off the track in so on, but then Deadly LFC did come back onto the track rather aggressively. And overall, Max Wheatley's just the innocent bystander who's got caught out by that, and I believe he does have wing damage. So after a disappointing race last week from where he started P1, it's going to be a disappointing race this week, it seems. He's looking at the back of Joe. It's too far back to go for a move though. Actually, Dark Ninja's starting to pull away from these guys, so maybe these super soft drivers are struggling here. They got the soft runner of Footy behind them. It'll be interesting to see if Tardy will hold on Joe to make sure Footy can get through much more easily. Possibly catch the front four. So these guys do seem to have some pretty decent pace. There'll be any moves going down. Hahana has retired from the session. Possibly a crash in the pit lane, or maybe just retired. Out of his own choice, but Max Wheatley and Deadly FC are into the pits now after that collision. First part of the last lap. But you really get onto the back of Joe. He's going to go for a dive down into turn maybe 5, guys. Looks like Joe's going to get the better traction on these super soft tyres for the first part of the exit, but it looks like he carries more speed in the end, and he's going to get past the Renault reserve driver. And he's going to hunt down his teammate. We'll see if his teammate makes it difficult for him to get through, or if he's just going to let him through, understand that he's on a different strategy here. And they don't want to be costing each other time. But we'll see as they come down to the start straight. So there's a bit of a battle going on in the midfield between Matt Deering and Ryan, which we'll have a look at in a minute. Just going to see if the Force India teammates are going to find some team orders here. Doesn't look like Qatar is defending very heavily. But actually Joe's getting involved as well now, so could Joe get a double overtake here? He's going to have to try and run the outside, and Jack Tyler's gone for a dive as well onto Qatar. To Qatar, he's lost 3 positions there in just 1 straight. So those super soft tyres really not working out for him. It's already starting to fall off the back of these guys as they come around into the second sector now. Also got a Toro Rosso Giroux catching these guys, so Looks like Jack Tyler's having a sniff of Joe there, who's on the super soft tyres. Jack Tyler on the soft, so we want him to get past. He's going to have much better traction at this stage in the race. You see Joe really going quite slowly through that right hand there, which should almost be flat out. Jack Tyler goes for a little bit of a dive. A little bit of a squeeze, but it seemed fair enough, and he gets past the Renault. And Giroux has got past Cataldi, so I expect Cataldi to come in this lap and get off those super soft tyres, because they really don't seem to be working. You can see the wear on them, especially on that front left tyre as he locks up there. So he should be coming in this lap, which he does, along with Joe, I believe, to get off those super soft tyres. We'll see what they go into. See if Riley comes in. Riley's actually staying out on his super soft tyres, so maybe he doesn't feel that they're doing quite as badly as the other guys. Actually going to be looking for a move down into turn 1 on Matt. There's a little bit of lag. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. Looks like a simple move that could Matt get him on the switchback and then running up into turn 3's right on the gearbox on him. He's going to find some room up the inside, give him a little bit of a nudge. I don't think there's anything too malicious in that contact. And Matt's going to go down the inside. Expect Riley to come in this lap to change his tyres. Motoristi is right on the back of Ari. Not Ari, sorry, Jock. Swan's actually retired in the race. But maybe Jock is struggling a bit. Motoristi pressuring him now for P2, because I don't think Thomas's time is reflective as he drops down to P16 there. So yeah, this would be for P2. EBS DRS just about. Looks like Jock's been just gaining in time on the straight despite DRS. Maybe a more downforce orientated setup for Motoristi here today. Riley's still on the back of Matt, so it doesn't look like he's stopping for the new tyres soon, so maybe his wear on the super softs isn't as bad. Of course, he did start from outside the top 10 on those tyres, so they will last a bit longer than the other super soft runners, but it's not going to be desirable compared to the softs, actually. Unless he can pull off some miracle and do a one-stop super soft and medium. Could be possible, but it will be very dodgy on the tyres towards the end of each stint. Supposed to he's closing back up to Ari, so they're not Ari, Jock, sorry. But as soon as he closes up his time through the middle section of the track, or the twisty parts, then loses his time on the straights. So it's going to be difficult for him to overtake in his Red Bull. So he runs a little bit wide there. Because if he's only gaining time in the corners, then it's going to be easy to overtake down the straight, which is the main places he overtakes in this sport. So yeah, he's just losing time on the straight despite having DRS. He's gained a little bit now, but he just loses too much in the initial phase to really gain from the DRS. But we'll see what he can do this lap. If he hooks up a good middle sector, he can get close enough to where he can possibly ever go on the straight next lap, or effectively this lap. Jock runs a little bit wide, that's going to cost him some time. You can see he is catching up through this part in the second sector. Definitely closer than he was on previous laps, and that's actually... Is that a lag car? Looks like these guys are just... I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, this car. It's been jumping around the order all day. Looks like the drivers just didn't see it, as they just went straight into it. Doesn't look like it's caused any damage, which is the main thing. Motoristi is definitely closer than he has been on any other lap down the straight now. Could he possibly get the chance to overtake? He's not really gaining enough at the moment, but he's going to get a bit more speed now. Is he going to go for a move, possibly? No, he's going to stick behind See if we can get even closer behind this lap, but it's definitely looking promising. As he goes past Dark Ninja down into turn 1 for P5 or P4. But RE is pulling away. Got a 3.2 second lead over Jacques at the moment. A bit wide there, he's going to get a bit of a kick from the back end on the exit due to that. Riley's still going on those super soft tyres, surely he's going to pit soon. He's got 9 laps on those tyres. Oh, that's a big moment for Motoristi on the curb. It looks like he's not damaged his car too much, but he's going to overheat his tyres, possibly ruin them for the remainder of this race. But it looks like he's kept the car going. He just caught too much of that curve and just lost it going uphill. Very tricky curve, that one. You don't want to be taking too much of it, but you don't want to be completely avoiding it because it will cost you time. He's currently now on P7 after that. Here's Riley coming into the pits. He stays out for another lap, so that's going to be 9 laps completing those super soft tyres. Looks like he's starting to pull away from Dark Ninja for P3 now. This would have been P4, but interesting how this little accident. Jack Tyler is catching Dark Ninja, and actually Giroux is not too far behind either, so we can see possibly a 3 or 4-way battle coming up soon. Pit stop should hopefully be coming into effect relatively soon as well. So that will provide some battles. Jack Tyler really catching up to the back of Dark Ninja here, so Dark Ninja possibly struggling on those tyres. See if we can make a move going down into turn 1. We saw him make a pretty daring lunge early on in the race, and it worked out pretty well, so he might go for it again, but Dark Ninja seems to get the better exit. It's actually Jack Tyler's going to get onto the gravel a bit. I think it's going to cost him a position behind, it's going to cost him a chance to overtake. He sticks behind for now. So race addiction goes into the pits, most likely onto the medium tyre. So could we see Riley possibly doing a 1-stop here? He does go into the pits now. If he puts on the medium tyre, looks like he's been trying, really going cautiously into the pits here. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen someone that cautiously into the pits in my life, but I guess he really didn't want to run the risk of getting the penalty. But if he goes onto the mediums, looks like he'll be trying to do the 1-stop from the super soft to the mediums. It looks to be mediums, or is it softs? It's mediums. So it looks like he's trying to 1-stop from the super soft to the mediums. Steering has left the session. He's currently P9. He's running completely flying, so I'm assuming that was just a lag-related issue or connection-related issue. Jack Tyler's got past Dark Ninja, and now Giroux was on his tail. So it looks like Dark Ninja is struggling. Most likely see him come into the pits this lap to get onto some medium tyres. Deering has rejoined, so shouldn't have cost him too much time in the grand scheme of things. Ninja really cutting that corner there, actually. But he stays out. Giroux is going to come in for the medium tyre. Motoristi is going to stay out. Deering's still AI, so doesn't look like he's been able to take control back of his car yet. His AI is going to pit for him here on lap 10, presumably onto the medium tyres. We'll see if Matt does the same. He does, he's coming in. Joey's going for the 2-stop, and the only driver maybe to go on the 2-stop. Possibly Max Wheatley, who had damage early on the guitar dude as well. Jack Tyler puts a penalty. I think he's had a fair few of them today. That could cost him towards the end of the race. And Dark Ninja is relatively close to the back of him, so maybe had a bit of a problem. Maybe ran right into the gravel or something, because he was pulling away from Dark Ninja at some bit. Looks like he's closed that gap down again now. Dark Ninja runs wide into the gravel himself there, so that's going to cost him any chance of an overtake down into this corner at least. see if any of these guys cut. Ari is staying out. Jacques is staying out. Petit is staying out. So Petit's actually closed all the way up to Jacques now. There's a second or two back for him, so really showing some good pace here on these soft tyres. I believe he started around P7 or something. He's close up to P2 and he's not really had any issues, Jacques, so just showing some good pace from Fuzzy here. Motoristi is coming to the pits, the rest of the guys seem to be staying out at the moment. Got a yellow flag in sector 1, that's Dark Ninja who's gone off into the gravel and he's decided to retire from the session. Just seems to be struggling on his tyres, most likely just lost the back end, or maybe there was some contact with Jack Tyler, I'm not entirely sure, but maybe we'll find out after the race. But it's the end of the day for him, nevertheless. Let's put the point score in just down to Deering. It's currently P13. I think he was running the lower end of the top 10 before his pit stop, so hopefully he can get back up there and score some points for the team. But yeah, Fuzzy right on the back of the Mercedes of Jacques, so looking to prevent a Mercedes 1-2 here tonight. And the pace we've seen from the Force Indians, they could be challenging Mercedes for that Constructors title. Possibly along with the McLarens of Jack Tyler and Max Whitley. Max Whitley on a unfortunate qualifying session and an incident early in the race, so that's cost him. Looks like Jacques had a bit of damage coming into the pits. Is he getting a front wing change? Doesn't look like it. Or maybe it was Jack Tyler who picked up the damage. But I was some carbon fiber off some car going into the pits. Is it a front wing change? Does not look like it. But I believe it has a 5-second stop go, or maybe he's just waiting for other cars to come down the pit lane. Or is he stuck in his pit box? Oh, this could be disastrous for Jack Tyler. He's having a good race for McLaren. He's up in P5. It looks now he's stuck in his pit box. He has indeed left the session, so the game screwing him over and overall McLaren over. He was looking for some good points. McLaren looking strong here today. Unfortunately, Max Whitley having the earlier incident, but they were looking to score some good points, possibly get back into the title charge for the Constructors, but it looks like he's stuck in his pit box, and that's the end of the race for Jack Tyler, which is really unfortunate. Is Thomas actually in that position, or is he still... it looks like he's still lagging around a bit. He's a minute behind Giroud. He's actually just a second or two behind. Ari coming to the pits now. Actually, he's just exiting the pits now. He's going to keep a relatively safe lead over Jacques. A couple of seconds. Well, I say a couple of seconds, a good 5 or 6 seconds. But Joe's back up into P3 because he is on the 2-stop strategy, so that's going to drop him back down to the lower end of the top 10, maybe even the higher end of just outside the top 10. Yeah, it doesn't look like Jack Tyler's the only car that got stuck in that pit lane today. It doesn't look like Deadly LFC got stuck in the pit lane earlier in the race. I didn't quite catch that whenever it happened, but 2 cars stuck in the pit lane here, which is really unfortunate for these guys. I don't think we saw this issue at all last week, but this is something that really needs to be fixed because it's just ruining races like we've seen here today. But Fuzzy here on the back of Giroud. He was actually challenging... Well, Giroud's actually left the session there, so it's going to make Fuzzy's life a lot easier, but Fuzzy was challenging Jacques. He's actually a few seconds back now, so maybe he had a penalty to serve in the pit lane, or maybe he's just been caught by being held up in the pits, or maybe just some traffic. But Joe now separates the 2 of them, so that's going to make Fuzzy's task of getting a second place even tougher here. Motoristi should easily get past Giroud's AI relatively soon, put him up into P5. goes. Race Addiction is... That might actually be a... Actually, I'm not sure what's going on here. I think... I'm not entirely sure what's... Because it seems like it's desync. But the drivers are just driving like... They don't see him on their screen, but he's been affected by it. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with Thomas today, but... It's definitely unfortunate. I'm not entirely sure what position he's legitimately in, but we'll see when it comes to the end of the race, I suppose. It's that Ferrari. Yeah, you can just see that the other cars don't see him on their screen as they're just driving. Like he's not there, effectively. Nothing they can do about that situation. It's just unfortunate. Yeah, we're down to 13 runners in this race now. Drew's AI, I'm not sure if he'll be returning that, but that could put us down to 12 runners in this race. Thomas is lagging about, don't know if he's disconnected or what, but that could possibly put us down to 11 runners in this race. I think he's just severely desynced and he's somewhere towards the back, maybe. Not really any battles happening at the moment, apart from Matt and Riley here towards the end of the grid. Riley's just going to get around the outside. Matt RFC had to take to the inside of turn 2, cutting across it a little bit, but I believe that's relatively fair as he brakes very late. That's actually going to cost him part of his front wing there, hitting the back with Riley. So that's cost him points today, most likely. He's probably going to have to pit to repair that wing. Max Wheatley goes past the AI of Giroux up into P7, but he's going to have to make another pit stop anyway. As Joe's coming in now for his second stop of the day. We'll see where he comes out. He's shown good pace throughout the race and in quali. He's gone onto the soft tyres now to the end of the race, I believe. No, he's actually gone to the mediums. Showed softs, but he's actually on mediums. He's going to come out in P10, just behind Race Addiction and the AR Giroux, so he could relatively easily get up to P8. Max would have to pit again, so that'd be P7, so still some relatively good points despite the compromised strategy compared to what's quickest around here. Tardude as well is actually going to have to make another stop, so I could throw him up even more positions, so his pace has really allowed the two-stop to become more viable here. But for the other guys like Tardude and Max Wheatley, because Max Wheatley had the damage as well, which didn't help, it's not going to be as good of a strategy for them. But yeah, I suppose I'll take this time to check the penalties quickly. Already just 2 warnings. Nothing for Jacques, nothing for Footy. Maturisty's got 2 penalties, that might cost him later. Guitaru's got a served stop guard, I assume. Penalty for Max Wheatley, nothing for Race Addiction, nothing for Joe, nothing for Giroux. So relatively clean, just a few drivers with some penalties. We're only on the look at Matt here, so it looks like Matt has got back in front despite the damage caused when these two collided earlier, as Joe goes ahead of Race Addiction there. Race Addiction looks like they'll have to make another stop. Riley's back ahead of Matt now, so I'm not entirely sure how Matt got back ahead because he had the damage, unless Riley made a mistake somewhere possibly, but I'm not entirely sure. But Max Wheatley here is catching onto the back of the Tardude. both on relatively old medium tyres. Highly doubt be able to make it to the end of the race on these compounds. They must likely stop for some soft tyres soon, and maybe go a bit longer and possibly find some super softs. It's really not revving out the car much, possibly to save some fuel. This race section comes in for his second and final stop of the day. Most likely onto the second set of softs, but maybe mediums. We'll see. He's come out on fresh mediums. He's really not revving out the car, which is interesting. It's going to cost him a bit of speed, but maybe just feels he doesn't need to. Just needs to get it around for another pit stop, and then he can push after that. Tardy does a big lock up there. Make sure she sets a new fastest lap of 120.7. Yeah, Max really is coming in for his second and final stop of the day. Most likely to see him go on to set softs from here. It's going to drop him outside the top 10 presumably, but on the set of softs he might be able to claw his way up to 10th maybe. He goes through his teammate who's stuck in the pits. Luckily for him, he gets out nice and safely. It's actually going to come out P9. Stu's AI. So, it's on medium, so. Yeah. I'm going to end on that. Deering will probably have to come in for another stop along with the tar dude, so we could gain a few more positions. Yeah, not really much action going on right now, which I'm sure some of the drivers will be complaining about, but it's always nice to watch a bit. Scatali's going to come in for his pit stop now, reacting to Max Wheatley's pit stop. I believe Max Wheatley's going to come out ahead of him, based off the undercut and the fact that he seemed to just get going a bit quicker before the stop anyway. And he's actually got a stop go, or is he stuck as well? Looks like he has a 5-second stop go. And he's out the pits now. And yeah, Max Whitley going ahead of him by a distance as well, considering he was, or Max Whitley was just a few tenths behind Castaldi. Max is actually gonna come out behind Race Addiction as well and be at risk from Riley behind on cold tyres, those soft tyres that Castaldi. Both of them should be able to easily navigate their way around Drew's AI car. So you're a bit of a fight for the lower end of the top 10 here now. Led by Race Addiction in his Williams, followed by Guitar Dude on fresh softs, should be able to make his way around him, and then Riley on relatively old medium tyres. Yeah, Max Whitley coming out long distance at least, guys. Thought he would have been in here, but he must have had a very good outlap. But I think the driver I'm most impressed with today has got to be Joe on that 2-stop. He's currently P6. Don't think he'll be gaining any more positions, considering he's a good 20 seconds behind top 5. That's purely down to that extra pit stop. If he was doing the 1-stop, he'd be right up there with them. But he has shown the pace to make the two-stop work relatively well here. The one-stop still would have been much quicker. This Qatar dude is right on the back of Race Addiction now. So they go into the first sector. Taking a look for a dive. Doesn't look like it as Matt RFC sets a new fastest lap on his soft compound tyres, so it doesn't look like he's going to be getting points today. He's currently down in P13, which is effectively the last place. Actually, because we don't know where Thomas actually is in this race, so he could be higher. We'll see. Dude, as we see overtake down into turn 1. Riley chops off these two relatively quickly. He's 1.3 seconds back. That's really sets the fastest off for 120.4. Is Casardi going to make a dive into turn 1? Forrest is going to defend the inside lines. You have to go around the outside. If I remember back to season 3, I made a lovely overtake around the outside there on Mr. Caddick Wrist. He's not going to be able to pull off the absolute scenes I did. Race Addiction holds his position, defending the inside line. So this battle will continue for another lap at least. Again, too far back to make a move. Knocks up a bit. Get across to a couple of percents maybe on the exit, but seems like he's still pretty evenly matched. The Race Addiction seems to gain some time going through there. Despite being on the harder compound. See what Sardi can do with the DRS now. Gaining quite quickly, might be in position to go for a move. Be a bit of a dive, he looks for it, but he just isn't close enough to pull it off. I believe that's Drew's AI going into the pits now, yep. Yeah, Race is just going to do a good job on the defensive here at the moment. In his Williams. Defending on the Force India. Doesn't look like Fuzzy's been able to catch up to Jacques like he was on the previous stint. Currently 7 or pretty much 8 seconds back. So looking like Mercedes 1-2. In fact, Jacques has actually been closing in on Ari relatively a lot compared to how he was doing in the first stint. And how far ahead Ari came out of the pits. Ahead of Jacques, but whether those two will swap positions while in the race, I'm not sure, because Jacques won the first race, REP3, so these two are effectively in a title battle, a bit like Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg a few seasons back. I wonder if they'll be just as friendly as they were back then. As Deeran's come in for his final stop of the day, he's gone on to the super soft tyres. Are we going to see Casardi make the move stick? He's gone for the inside this time into turn 1. He's going to give Race Addiction the inside line for turn 2. So Race Addiction hobbles it once again, showing he can defend both the outside and the inside. Great defensive driving from the man in the Williams. Kieran's come out in P11, but on the super soft cars, he should get to challenge Riley on his mediums. In fact, the oldest mediums on the grid are just, wow, that was really close for Casardi, locking up almost. Kissing in the back of Race Addiction, almost going to the gravel as well, but he managed to control it. It's going to cost him a couple of cents, but this is not out of the race or got damaged. Jock is closing, he's 3.7 seconds behind Ari. keeps closing at this rate, I don't believe he'll catch by the end of the race, but if he can pick up the pace just a little bit more, maybe get about 6 or 7 tenths a lap, we could see them challenge Ari for the lead going to the final lap or two. Otherwise it would have been a pretty dominant victory for the Mercedes pair. Actually, Matt has retired from this session. He's got a port lap, but he's had enough. Realised he can't score any points, and he's just going to go on to retire the car, save some mileage, save the engine for another day. Target's actually falling off the back race section, so maybe his softs are already losing pace compared to the mediums. Should be unfortunate. We want to see a bit of a battle going on here. The drivers I have to say I'm most impressed with today got to be Max Whitley and Joe. So, well, I assume that was the lag car Thomas who just collided with there, which is not his fault, of course, but yeah. Max Whitley at the 2-stop, of course, damage inflicted that. He's done really well to get it back up to P6. Same with Joe, he's just had some good pace on the 2-stop. Managed to get into P5. It looks like Attardi is dropping off the back of race addiction here. And Deering and Riley. Got the red glitch on the Ferrari there, so we don't want to be watching that. But we'll see if he can make a move down to turn 1 here. Maybe he could push on to catch Attardi in race addiction as well, so we could see a 4-way battle here. He actually tries to go around the outside, he's blocked off, and it's been a wheel banging going down in turn 1. Riley really not wanting to be giving up this position here. It's his final point now lost. He's actually going to pick up a time penalty for exceeding track limits. RS is a new fast lap of 20.1, so it looks like he's picking up the pace again, so maybe he's just conserving fuel and tyres. Just why his job was closing, but he's picking up the pace again now. Looks like he's in a comfortable position to win this race. We'll see if Deering can catch up to Guitar Dude and race addiction. It's looking promising for the Ferrari driver. Of course, his teammate retiring early on in the race, I believe. Possible contact with Jack Tyler, or maybe just a accident on his own. Not entirely sure. See if we can have a look at that after the race. That's actually the lag car of Joe there, getting punted around like it's bumper cars. Deering already on the back of Attardi, so those supersofts are really working well. They could struggle on the final few laps for a bit of grip, but at the moment they're working very nicely indeed. See if we can make a move in so on. Actually, the red glitch on that car in the in this camera actually sounds somewhat like a V8 or something, which is nice to hear. At the moment they're behind for the Taurus or Riley. I don't think he'll be challenging to gain these positions. But Deering doesn't have a chance. But the longer he stays behind, the more wear his tyres are going to pick up in the dirty air, and that's going to hinder his chances of making the moves. I've seen some good defensive driving from Guitar Dude, like Royce Addiction did to him. Actually, that he's going to the pits. His tyres not make it to the end. Surely. He did 3 laps, and why has he gone to the pits? Why? I'm so confused as why he's just gone to the pits, but. Huh. Maybe he wants to pass this lap, but I don't see why. He was in a position to score 1, 2, or maybe 4 points, so certainly an interesting decision to do that, but don't know. Definitely cost him some points. Whether or not he's still in P10 because of Thomas or not, I'm not sure, but it's definitely cost him a point at least. So interesting decision from the Ferrari driver. That's meant that we are left with effectively no battles now to the end of the race. Was he always behind Motorista? Or Motorista got ahead of him? I'm not entirely sure, but I think Motorista's got ahead of him. The P3 there. So that's interesting. Maybe Footy can close in, but 2 laps, practically 3 laps remain. I don't feel like he has enough time to. Little 5-6 F3, that the Jock. It looked like he had a bit of a moment there. Has he lost time behind? I think he has. I think Truck's had a bit of a problem there in the final sector. It's now only 3.5 seconds ahead of Motoristi. And that gap's coming down, it seems. So is there a problem for the last week's winner? Oh, that's Motoristi off. Motoristi's gone off. What's happened there? Has he just lost the back end and gone off? He's still going, so is he gonna... I think it'd be best for him to just stay on track and try and do the final 1.5 laps without a front wing, to be honest. Probably cost him less time. Joe is still good about 20 seconds back. So Motoristi should still be able to get P4. Maybe. And I gifted Footy to P3 then. I'm not really sure what happened to Motoristi. Maybe there was contact with someone else, or he didn't seem to be too close to him, but it's definitely not what you want to be seeing. He's continuing around. We'll see if he's going to be able to hold on to this P4. Joe is still a considerable distance back. He's really going slowly through that long right-hander. Of course, with no downforce, it's going to be really challenging to get through there. Joe actually going through that now. He's going to gain a lot of time for this section. So we're into the more downforce orientated part of the track. Joe is catching, but I don't think he's going to catch enough to go for a move onto Motoristi. So Motoristi should be able to hold on to P4, but it's going to be Ari who takes the win of the Spanish Grand Prix. And Jock's going to make it a Mercedes 1-2. He's going to retain his lead in the championship. Thomas apparently finished his P4. I'm not entirely sure on that. We'll have to see after. Footy's P3 though. Effectively gifted that by Motoristi. Joe's not going to catch enough in the end to make that position. He's really not having to the record driver, but we'll see after the race. So is actually Joe's going to get on penalties anyway. So Joe P5, is Thomas actually P4? Maybe he was decent the entire race and was running in that position. So I'm not entirely sure. But Max Rookie finishes a respectful P7 after his incident in a 2-stop, which is very appallable. The rest of just going to come home in P8. Got some nice points for Williams. They got a couple last race. He's going to add to that tally. Got a few more here today. So I'll do P9s. Can see both Force India's finishing today. Possible constructors contenders, of course, not the greatest race today. Mercedes 1-2, but with a few races in the future, could see Mercedes have a bit of a different form. Force India mount a title charge. We see the drivers going out to the podium now. It's Ari who takes the victory here today. Jacques makes it Mercedes 1-2. Footy around in off the podium on the Force India. So all Mercedes power cars on the podium. 2 Finns and a Brit. With an all finished podium for motorists. What I'm assuming was a mistake and an ultimate lap. I'm sure Footy won't be complaining about that. Yeah, it is Ari and Jacques 1-2 from the grid. Footsy coming from P7 to take P3. Whether or not that is Thomas's finishing position, I'm not sure. We'll have to see later. Joe P5, another respectable finish from the reserve driver, really proving his worth for a full-time seat. Maturity P6 from P3 on the grid. Max Whitley up to P7 on the 2-stop from P15, really respectable from him, along with Ray 6 on the 2-stop from P18. I'll do P9 on the 2-stop from P6, so how he's fallen behind these two I don't think I'll ever understand, but Ronnie rounds out the top 10 on the super soft to medium 1-stop from P13. It's Deering, final driver the final driver to finish, and the only one not to score a point. Drew was AI for the entire race, and the rest of them either got stuck in the pits or retired. So that's going to be it for F3 here in Spain. We'll see you about 45 minutes for F2. Hope you guys have enjoyed. We'll see you next week for Canada.